Hey guys, Mr. X here. Just wanted to address the elephant in the room. This video is not monetized and or sponsored. Warning, you will hear coarse language and opinions. Can you handle this without being butthurt? Yes? Sure? Are you sure? Promise? Pinky swear? Alright. But first I want to show you a silly video. On with the show.
Let's start the show.
Yes, science!
What's up, Internet? What's up, YouTube? I am your host with the most, but not as cool as Space Ghost. I am the ghoul who drools. I am Mr. X. Thanks for tuning in to Internet Television. We have an explosive topic today. Today we're talking about video games and violence. What the fuck is going on in America today? America? America. Fucking America. So evidently we have another school shooting taking place in Parkland, Florida. Wednesday, February 14th, 2018, ironically Valentine's Day, Nicholas Cruz, a 19-year-old junior, walked into Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School located in Parkland, Florida, and opened fire with a semi-automatic rifle, causing 17 casualties and 17 severe injuries. Cruz has been described as disturbed, sick, and had early warning signs. Again, 19 years old, in college. 17 confirmed casualties and 14 wounded. Here we go again. Dealing with another horrific shooting and pointing fingers at the same scapegoats. It's the guns. It's the mental health system. It's those goddamn games and movies. Well, what if I told you it's all of them? There's a lot to unpack there, so I'll save opinion for later. For now, let's debunk the witch hunt for games. Okay? This shit's been going on for years, despite mountains of evidence suggesting little to no link at all between violent rampages and consumption of digital media, specifically video games. To fully understand, we need to travel back to 1994. So fucking call Doc Brown and get in your fucking DeLorean, because we're going back to the past.
April 26, 1992.
Tell me why you keep moving, little forget.
See, you have to understand, this was 1994. Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign was Billboard #1. The legendary Pulp Fiction was released, as well as The Lion King.
Does he look like a bitch?
Consumer high-speed internet was still a twinkle in some dork's eye. Gaming in the early 90s was far different from than we know it today. No DLC, no microtransactions, and online play was still developing. Technologically, companies began producing more and more powerful consoles capable of full-motion movies, 3D modeling, and CD-quality audio. This seems rather mundane compared to today's cutting-edge machines capable of 4K, 60 frames a second, and hyper-real graphics, but remember, this is 1994. This is when the OG PlayStation was released. Forrest Gump was released later in the same year.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
As consoles were pushing the envelope with hardware, so too was the software. New CD-based releases could take advantage of all that hardware. However, it wasn't all puppies and kitties though. Video games in general came under scrutiny when a long, infamous title came out. Mortal Kombat's history is almost legendary at this point. I can't cover it all. I'm sorry, guys. Mortal Kombat by Midway landed in arcades in 1992. Gamers immediately gravitated around the game due to the almost photorealistic characters and the over-the-top violence, including decapitation, ball punches, and over-the-top cartoon-like fatalities.
Hey, stop!
Mortal Kombat's over-the-top violence caught the attention of parents. Another game was outraging parents, but for other reasons altogether as well. Night Trap, a full-motion video game on the Sega CD, has the player attempt to save the lives of scantily clad women from black tar monsters while at a slumber party.
Your parents are gone, and you say so?
Come on, Sarah, what's the first thing you think of?
Party!
Excellent!
This game is dumb. Sorry, not sorry if you're a fan. Night Trap is pretty tame compared to today's standards, but again, this is 1994. Mortal Kombat eventually made its way to home consoles, the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, respectively. Due to the graphic nature of these games, parents began to question the gaming industry and the moral fiber of their software. Ultimately, the US government sought to meet with gaming companies in an attempt to, quote, regulate
Nate Dogg and Warren G had to regulate
the development and distribution of their products. The two ringleaders in this were Democratic Senator Herb Kohl and Senator Joe Lieberman. The outcome of the meetings was the ESRB, or the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, as we know it today. E for everyone. E for everyone 10 and up. T for team. M for mature. AO for adults only. Alright, kiddies, we've got some time traveling to do, so jump back in the DeLorean. This time we're off to 1999.
Oh, yeah!
When you grab a hold of me, you tell me that I'll never be
1999. This was the year The Matrix was released. Britney Spears released Baby One More Time.
How you want it to be. Tell me, babe.
And Y2K was going to end humanity as we know it. The same year, another school attack took place in Columbine, Colorado. On April 20th, 1999, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold executed a raid on their high school using store-bought weapons and supplies in addition to DIY weapons and bombs. The pair on their rampage killed 12 students and 1 teacher, including 21 additional people. The Columbine incident sent shockwaves through the country. How could this happen? How could obvious warning signs be ignored? The issues we're discussing in 2018 are the same issues that we were discussing in 1999. How and why do children have access to guns? Is the mental health system doing enough to assist those that need it, or educate those that are ignorant? While the whirlwind media shitstorm took place, eventually these indefensible actions were identified as the result of playing video games and listening to rock music. So I'm going to cut this section short. Everybody knows the history of Doom. It's a hyper-violent first-person shooter, the granddaddy of first-person shooters. Everybody knows. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip. The rampages taking place all across America aren't the result of video games, music, and TV. I don't have issue with raiding games, and matter of fact, I support it. Placing all the blame on game developers eliminates the responsibility of being a parent. TV, music, games shouldn't raise your kids. You should. America's had a history of violence in and around schools long before Parkland and Columbine. Was it the games then? What about the movies? Yeah, no. The violence problems are much more deep-seated. So let's look for truth, undeniable answers, but more importantly,
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here.
the word on everyone's tongues is AR-15. An AR-15 is the cousin of the long military standard M16. These weapons are widely available and can pack quite a punch in quick succession. Never seen the destructive power of an AR-15? Allow me to show you.
Hickok 45 here. That was that. Hickok 45 here. Looks like it's going to be an AR-15 day, doesn't it? Hickok 45 here. A 5.56-223 day. Yes, it is. Hickok 45 here. We have another AR-15. By the way, that's the MacLulu bench loader. That's cool. Looks like it's going to be an AR-15 day, doesn't it? Hickok 45 here. You know, we don't get paid by MacLulu, but we discovered. Well, I got one sent to me actually, one of the little pistol magazine loaders. I've told that story before, and I didn't even use it for a while. Some viewers sent it, said they thought I'd like it. And boy, when I finally did try it, I did, and I've given up sticking them in, one at a time. Hickok 45 here. Looks like it's going to be an AR-15 day, doesn't it? The pistol magazines, because that thing works so well, so fast, especially in videos. And anyway, the company got wind of that. They sent us some of these things for free, because they get a lot of exposure, right? And this is the guy who actually owns the company gave it to us at SHOT Show. It's an upgrade of the, I guess you'd call it an upgrade of the other one for AR mags. This one's lighter weight. It's not quite as expensive. I forget what it costs. That other one's like $400 or something. But this one's lighter weight polymer. Hickok 45 here. Looks like it's going to be an AR-15 day, doesn't it? It's at least half the price or less. I don't know, to tell you the truth. But anyway, I would show you that something like that actually exists that works that well. So yeah, looks like it's going to be an AR-15 day, doesn't it? Hickok 45 here. We're going to look at this AR. You might have seen a picture of it on Facebook from Hickok 45 here. Trojan Firearms out of California and Arizona.
I don't think demonizing a particular weapon will make great strides in saving lives, however. On the other hand, I don't see the need for these military-style weapons either. Let's talk about some of the common arguments for and against. I hear a lot of folks talking about more guns. Have we really gotten to the point in society? Fuck it, we can't figure out what else to do, so let's just arm everyone and hope for the best.
I didn't want you to get bored, so I was like, fuck it, give everybody guns!
Say someone was burning to death, fully engulfed in flames. Would you light them on fire to save their life? Of course not! Handing guns out like candy doesn't make sense to me. Yes, I understand the old adage, all it takes is a good guy with a gun, but consider this. On the other hand, that dude that melted down about his McNuggets at McD's is now armed. That dude you cut off and flipped off in traffic this morning? Now he has a shotgun. This approach seems like the riskiest of all solutions. Well, let's just ban all assault rifles. This is where things get especially tricky. I do believe there is a problem with the ease of access and the glorification of violence in America. The die-hard gun nuts shout foul and cling to the Second Amendment. The problem with this is this. In our nation's history, have we had to take up arms against our government? I'm excluding the Civil War due to extenuating circumstances. Nope, we have not.
But Mr. X, the reason the government has become tyrannical is because we're armed.
Think about this for a second. If the government wanted to rule us with an iron fist, they could. Their military might is and will be greater than what a militia can ever produce. It would be no contest. At the same time, if there ever was a gun grab, this would probably be seen as an act of aggression and a slippery slope to erode civil liberties by gun owners and advocates. If so, violence could escalate and spiral out of control until another civil war unfolds. This is worst case scenario.
But Mr. X, I have the right to defend myself. I'm gonna shoot any motherfucker that comes up in here.
Yes you do. But with a stockpile of military-grade weapons and munitions? The current changes occurring to gun laws in Florida I agree with. It's truly unfortunate that law-abiding citizens are affected, but honestly, do you ask yourself, are your guns more important than the well-being and safety of our current and future generations? I don't understand the out of cold dead hands folks. The arms manufacturers have their grimy hands in politics and lobby to continue to peddle their destructive merchandise. Doing nothing is passively agreeing. Have we had enough violence and mayhem on the evening news? I digress. The other common point regarding gun control is mental health. I couldn't agree more. To me, it's important to understand and identify the catalyst for such hatred, violence, and disregard for human life in order to prevent it.
But Mr. X, why do you care so much?
See, at the end of the day, we're all in this together. We have to share this planet, state, city, county, and town. Today's society moves so fast and we all chase success. Non-stop bombardments of advertising tells us everything we don't have and how it will complete our lives. If we were only a little bit thinner, or a little bit prettier, or maybe just a little bit more ripped, maybe if I had a new car, or a new phone, or ate at the right restaurants. It's all bullshit. But Mr. X, what can I do? Get involved. If you have talents, time, energy, and the will to give, get out there and help people. You don't have to save the world, but maybe you could save a friend, or a coworker, or even a complete stranger. Alright guys, I've rambled enough, so the TLDR, we need to find a compromise between the rights of the citizens and the future of our species. That's all the time we have for Internet Television today. If you enjoyed yourself, please consider subscribing. If you like this trip down memory lane, headshot that like button. Alright guys, that is it for me. I have to return some videotapes. Peace.